It's the world's biggest night show, Big Reed. Always doing my part in trying to introduce you to new rising artists. Artists that have been putting in work for a really long time. And do me a favor, fam. You're from the Bay. You know,
Yeah.
I'll let you give the people the details and everything like that. But introduce yourself to the people. Let them know where you're from.
Yeah. I'm Wyatt Woodley. You know what I'm saying? Santa Rosa native. North Bay area. Artist, producer. You know what I'm saying? I currently work out of LA, but I'm always representing home. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Home is where the heart is.
Absolutely. Back home for a few days. Flew up to chop it up, man. I appreciate you, man.
Come on, man. Thank you so much for having me up here, bro. This is crazy.
Of
Honestly.
course. Of course.
Crazy.
I appreciate you, spending some time. And again, I know you keep nodding your head, man, but
I'm
do
tripping.
appreciate you hopping on a flight to come up here. I know you get to have some time with family and everything like that, but at the same time, the fact that you're, putting in that work to be here, man, it means a lot. So thank you, bro. Thank you.
Nah, thank you, bro.
Growing up in the 707,
Yeah, 707.
what was life like for you?
Man, blessing. I feel like such a melting pot. That's one of the biggest things I've always taken away from Santa Rosa, North Bay, Bay Area in general, is we got a lot of everything.
Absolutely.
Everything. And that transcends into music. You feel me? All my friends are different walks of life. You know what I'm saying? Like video game lovers to the star football athletes to rap to cook to, you know what I'm saying? Love everything. And I think that was something that I always got to pick up on, was just like going to my homie's house and it be a completely different culture than my other homie right down the street. And so we be in tacos for lunch, you feel me? And then we go have like masala for dinner, or my homie cooking, you feel me, Thai food and just different stuff like that. And it was just really cool being in a place where I felt like I could always be me at the end of the day and do the music thing or do whatever I wanted and be me and accepted. And I think that was like huge for my process and just growing up into who I am now.
I love that. That's something that's very special about the Bay Area that people outside of our bubble don't realize. Like,
Yeah.
because when we see all this craziness online, all this stuff going on around the world, it's like, man, we don't really deal with that like that here. Everyone, there's some pockets of, craziness and everything like that,
sure.
like there is everywhere. But for the most part, everybody loves everybody.
For sure. And I think the piece that you kind of get from that, especially when, the world is going through things or whatever, our perspective is usually the activism take, because we maybe aren't directly affected by that stuff. We live in such a peace and loving community. We're like, hey, bro, why y'all not feeling how we're feeling?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, bro, hug your brother, love your sister. You know what I'm saying? Like we definitely try to take this stance of like, all right, we need to come together and kind of figure this out. Let's work this out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what's up, man. I love that. That's super dope. And I feel like you have some of those messages within your music too.
Thank you.
We have to we definitely gonna get into the music in just a second, but I'm just curious, what high school did you go to out here?
Bro, I went to a couple. I went to Santa Rosa High School. I was a Panther for a little bit. I was a prospector. I went to Pioneer High School, but I graduated from like a Cuddy one in Runner Park.
Word.
Called Pathways.
That's what's up. All right.
For the people who know.
For the people that know, hey man, look, we all had some time growing up. You feel me? We was all a little turned up.
Yeah.
But nah, man, hell yeah, that's what's up. Who are some? I know this is such a cliche question, bro, but with this being our first interview together, I got to ask it. Like, who were some of the influences within for you for your music? Like, who inspired you to get into music? Who are some of the artists you listen to?
For sure. I mean, in general, a lot of it was like the stuff that I like really early grew up on. So it was like Creedence Clearwater, Front of Bay, you know what I'm saying? And just like kind of like that really passionate singer-songwriter stuff, like Bruce Springsteen, different kind of, like folk, soul, stuff like that. Like the records that my pops was playing, a lot of Beatles, a lot of like James Brown, a lot of funk and stuff like that. But I kind of like transitioned into like finding my own wave as I got older and like going into middle schools when I found HBK and stuff like that. So I was like, that was the first time I kind of like stepped away from like hella natural instruments and just all the like, like say the music was like keys and guitar and like natural drums. Like, yo, what's a Rhodes or what's like an 808? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are all these sounds that I'm hearing that I'm like falling in love with? And I kind of fell into this loophole of like rap and Bay Area just hyphiness when I was like 12, 13, 14, and that kind of like spun me in a way where I started wanting to like include all of it as like one thing, you know. And that was kind of like the trajectory. It was always listening to like super old stuff and then like the freshest, newest, like futuristic stuff at the same time. I don't know.
That's what's up. No, yeah, it makes sense. Like you got a crazy music taste in the good way.
I appreciate
but at the same time, like when you were mentioning like the funk and the soul and the folk and getting into the the Bay Area side, you can again, like we're gonna talk about the music, like you can hear all of that within what you're putting out and what you've already put out and what you got coming too.
Thank you, man.
Now speaking of what's coming, we got a project.
Yeah.
When's the 22nd? 8 days away.
8 days away.
Next week.
Yeah, next week.
Talk about it. Tell the people about it.
Darling. You know what I mean? It's my letter to kind of the United States, my country, and my darling. You know, I feel like that time that we were just talking about, being a kid, I feel like I almost had like a filter over my eyes. The world seems so much more saturated, more colorful. I feel like as I've gotten older and as we've all grown, I feel like it starts to dim and dull in certain ways that I'm maybe not ready for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we're also, despite, and that's just like the growing up journey, but it's also the phase we're in right now as a world has been like a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. And in art and in our like current kind of media specter, I feel like it's not always talked about like it's happening right now, and it is happening right now.
No, for real.
So I just wanted to shed light on that and my Bay Area bipartisan light on it, where it's like I just, maybe I don't know everything, but at the end of the day, I would like us to all just be friends.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And I've had a chance to listen to the project. I've had a chance to listen to the records. And let me just say, like, for the record, your music is addicting, bro. And I told this to you earlier. Like, it's like every song I listen to, like, I want to hear more of that song. Like, when it comes to the end, I'm like, damn, like, that's it, bro? Like, you can't go longer? I know there's extended versions, places and stuff like that, so I might have to, see what it sounds like. But every song I've heard, man, it's like I can't stop listening. I want to hear more. And, like, I think the project has 10 tracks on it.
Thank you, bro.
It's not enough, bro.
We cut it down. Yeah, we cut it down, too.
Throw a couple more in there.
I might be doing some deluxe action.
Hey, look, there you go. Look, I remember back in the day, like, especially with our Bay Area artists, with some of the compilations they put out a project.
Yeah.
And it'll show 16 songs, but that at the end of 14, 15, and 16, there's an extra song at the end of those.
For sure.
Those used to go crazy. And those are some of the best songs that came out of the project,
for sure.
too.
The hidden joints were crazy. Looking for hidden songs on mixtapes or albums was like goated energy.
My favorite record on the project is Same.
Thank you.
It sounds so dope. And that doesn't let me just say it, I don't want it to take away from the other songs. Y'all gotta listen from the front to the end. Same is my favorite song on the record.
Nah, thank you, man. That one is super special to me. I wrote it hella quick.
Yeah.
Like without even. Yeah. Usually it takes me like a second, like a long time to write. I like mull hella stuff over and don't really get it out. I just keep working it out. But that one was like a one sitting type of thing. And I'm not somebody who really does that. But it was just on my heart, So I'm so glad that you like that one the most and just resonate with it at all, because it was something that every time I play it, even like I still feel that emotion that I felt when I was making it.
I love that. And on top of like as an artist, you're also a producer.
Yeah.
And you produce some of your records, of course, right?
Yeah. So actually, all my stuff I typically produce by myself. Yeah, like record, produce, mix, master, like honestly the whole thing. I do get like a lot of help, and I work with a lot of collaborators and guitar players, keyboard players, but typically it's me kind of getting all the tracks together and doing doing the drums, doing all the EQing, all the mixing, mastering, production stuff.
For sure. And even for other artists as well, I heard you did some records. You did a record for Bryson Tiller.
Yeah.
Something with Blast, Zakari.
Yeah, this was a fun summer, honestly. Like in April, Bryson put out his album, and me and my boys Billion and Obvi did a production with Charlie Heat on there. No Thank You, and then
Fire.
Calais, my manager.
Shout out Calais.
Come on,
my
shout
guy.
out Calais, man, 100 times. He had this session set up with Zakari, and he was like, "Hey, bro, you should like just slide with me." And we made this song called Bless Her Heart in that session. And while we were making it, Zakari was like, "Man, Blast would go crazy on this." And me and Calais look at each other like, I mean, yeah, that would be amazing, but you know.
Yeah.
And bro, like 6 months go by, we get a text and Blast is on the song, and then like another like 2-3 months and the song's out. And that was just a crazy mob, you know. And then I put my first album out like right after that. It was just a fun summer, man.
Absolutely. Been working,
Yeah.
man. Been grinding.
Trying to, bro. It's been great.
Down there in LA getting it in, man, making it happen.
Yeah.
Now you get to be home. You feel me?
For
And not
real.
only right now, you're coming home. Okay, we got the album on the EP on the 22nd.
Yep.
And then
Week after.
not this Friday, but the week after that,
Yeah.
that next Friday.
Yeah, November
a show.
29th. Yeah. Me and my boy Adam Pastel, we're performing at the Mystic in Petaluma.
Legendary venue.
Yeah, legendary venue. Show's called Darling I'm Home, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be incredible. It's a one night only kind of thing. It's both of our first headlining show, Adam and I, but we're both doing, you know, full sets. It's going to be a lot of music, a lot of good times. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
awesome, man. We got to make the trip to the 707.
Come on, pull
Be
up.
out there, man, going
Definitely
crazy.
pull up.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. And then at the same time, you've done some other shows. You've opened up for some dope people as well.
Yeah.
I know you worked with Golden at one point, doing a show with them.
Yeah.
And a couple of, like, I think you did the one here in the Bay, and then I think down in LA as well, right?
Yeah, super blessing. Had me, you know, it was an opportunity to do it in the Bay, and then like the following week in LA, and I was just coming off of, I had done like a stint of engineering for him for a few months and
Love
just
that.
helping him get, you know, his next grip of songs together, and you know, that just was an amazing opportunity that I gotta thank God for, that just came up. And Calais was like, "Hey, bro, you think you could do that?" And I was like, "Bro, I would love to. Are you kidding me?"
For sure.
So I was like, an incredible opportunity I still reel off of.
Yeah, being in the studio with artists like Golden, who, I mean, right as the pandemic kicked off, like, I mean, he's been doing music for a while, right?
For sure.
And he's been building. Pandemic kicked off, and it just went through the roof. You
Yeah.
feel me? One of the biggest songs in the world. You know what I mean? And then he
Yeah.
had other songs to follow up with that.
For sure.
What advice? I mean, I'm sure you guys chopped it up while you were in the studio. Like, what advice has he given you, or some gems you took from those sessions to where, like, you want to utilize it within your path as well?
That's a great question. I feel like he be giving hella game without even like knowing that he's giving so much game, because he's younger than I am, but he's like super up, you know what I mean? And so he has seen so much. His whole spiel honestly is like, bruh, like, just keep going, you know what I'm saying? Because that's all he did. I remember seeing him mob when he was like 16, 17 in San Francisco, going crazy. So it's been 8 years. So people don't always see that, but it's
Yeah.
like he is, going crazy now, like we're talking about. And I know you know that, was been going crazy, doing his thing, trying to get on. But he knows he was not an overnight success. So he just
Absolutely.
knows how much goes into it. And he's not afraid to tell you, like, a lot goes into it. And don't be afraid of that. You know how much work it takes, and do it, and you'll be straight. You know what I mean? There's no like timeline on
Yeah.
greatness. You know what I mean? And there's ebbs and flows to this stuff too. I think one of the things I appreciate the most about his journey, though, is not being afraid to make what he wants to make, you know?
Yeah.
Because you can get to a place where people are expecting something from you, and to stand on your own and be like, nah, I'm gonna give you the best music I can at all times, instead of like trying to wishy-washy or do what somebody's telling me to do,
Exactly.
is way cleaner. You know, I appreciate that as a fan and as an artist myself 100 times out of 100 times.
Yeah, that's valid for sure. Like, you could tell, like, he came to a point where he was like, you know, I'm gonna switch this up and do what I want. Like, he
Yeah.
was literally at the beach burning his records. I was like,
For
yo,
real.
like, all right, bro, do your thing,
Yeah.
then, man. I respect it. Look, bro, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your story, the work that you're putting in. your humbleness behind it. I'm looking forward to the show at the Mystic going down on the 29th, aka Black Friday, by the way.
Yeah.
We'll definitely put the link to the tickets so y'all can get them in the description of the video, and of course share it online. Darling, the EP dropping the 22nd.
22nd.
Remember, run that same up.
Come
you
on.
feel me? And then obviously listen to the other records too. They're all good, man. They're all good. I love them all, man. But same, I kept going back to it, running it back.
Man, thank you.
At one point, I couldn't get through the whole EP because it kept going back.
You just kept going back?
I kept going back, bro.
That.
It sounds good, bro. The production, everything on it, man. Where can people find you online, like the socials? I think that's super important for the people that are watching the interview that want to know more about you and follow the journey, man.
Nah, 1,000%. I mean, again, my name is Wyatt Woodley, WYATTWOODLEY. It's like that on Spotify. All the socials and stuff, you just got to throw an underscore in between my first and last. Wyatt_Woodley. But yeah, man, really just appreciate you having me.
Of
man.
course,
this has
bro.
been an incredible opportunity. And been watching your interviews for a minute on my screen, so it's just cool doing one and being here in real life.
Hey,
you know
man,
what I'm saying?
Thank you for looking at the content. I appreciate it.
Of course, bro.
I appreciate it.
Nah, for sure.
Yo, early in the interview, you mentioned the homies that be gaming. What you be gaming at all? I know you busy. I know you're in the studio. I know you still take some time though to get into it.
A little bit. But I'm kind of. Here's the thing, I'm not next gen yet, so I don't have like one of the newest consoles. So
Yeah,
I really just re-rock GTA 5 because we're
Bro,
waiting on
everybody do, bro.
GTA 6. You know what I'm saying?
Still playing.
Nah, you have to.
Yeah.
But like that and Red Dead, like I'm a big
Red Dead goes
Rockstar
crazy.
Games guy.
I never finished it. It's just like
I haven't either, bro. It's been years now.
okay, word. It did. You mentioned homies are star athletes. What's your teams? And I won't judge you. It's all good.
No, it's good. I'm a Warriors fan off the
Word.
rip, and I'm a Giants fan off the
Okay.
rip. Yeah. I mean yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to be like low key a Red Sox fan just because I played baseball for hella long, and my favorite player was Dustin Pedroia, and he was on the Red Sox.
Okay.
But other than that, you feel me? Giants all day for sure.
Word. Okay. Well, you mentioned no football.
Nah, bro. I mean, if I was to pick, bro, my boy Obvi will kill me. But I would say I'm probably a Niners fan.
Okay.
Over the Raiders.
I'm a Raider fan.
I knew it.
I know you know.
I could see it in your eyes, bro. As soon as I went for the N in Niners, he was like, "That's not an R."
Oh man, it's all good, bro.
Nah.
Look, at the end of the day, right? Like the Niners are, they're a staple in the Bay Area. They're a big deal. It's a legendary franchise. They didn't leave the Bay twice. I get it. You feel me? Trust me, my heart broken.
That was
A's just left too.
Nah, that bothered me. That
it was-
irks me.
Like I followed the Raiders of Vegas.
Right.
I'm cool with it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
feel me? However, the A's, they left so disrespectfully.
Nah, for
the
sure.
whole thing was so disrespectful. I'm cool, man. I can't even do it. I can't do it. I'm about to be on that ferry
with
coming
you,
across the
man.
water.
Yeah, come on.
With the people. You feel me? I can't, And they was asking the people. My friends was like, "Yo, you gonna be a Niner fan?" No, I'm like, "Nah, bro, I can't do it, man.
Yeah.
Can't do it. I've talked too much craziness. They'll find those tweets and torch me."
Nah, I get that for sure. It's definitely that's something you can't switch, I guess. But
Yeah, deep down in my soul, I'm sure you feel that way with
right.
baseball.
Nah,
though.
for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely a Giants fan.
Yeah.
That's like, bruh, like, I live in LA, right?
Yeah,
The Dodgers winning the World Series,
yeah, I know.
crazy vibe. Like, I don't like walking outside. You know what I'm saying? But
It was turned up too. That was
Giants
tripping.
fan. Yeah, tripping. But hey,
Hell yeah.
congratulations. But yeah.
For sure, man. Once again, bro, appreciate you. Don't forget, Darling, the EP drops the 22nd. Show with my boy Adam Pastel at the Mystic of Petaluma on the 29th.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, follow Wyatt Woodley everywhere, online,
Come on.
on socials. Add him to your
come on.
Spotify playlist, Apple Music, all that kind of good stuff. And stay tapped in. Yay.
Yee.